Welcome to Lesson 4. In this lesson, we're going to talk about homework in the PYP, but more specifically about how parents can support learning at home without taking over. For many families, homework can become a stressful part of the day. This lesson is designed to help you feel clearer, calmer, and more confident about your role as teacher of your child. So, by the end of this lesson, the goal is for you to feel comfortable supporting literacy, numeracy, and inquiry at home while still helping your child develop independence. This lesson is not about doing homework for your child. It's about creating the conditions where learning can happen naturally, meaningfully, and hopefully with less conflict. So, here's what we're going to cover today. We'll look at the parent role in homework support and why balance matters. We'll unpack some common worries parents have about homework. We'll clarify the purpose of homework in the IB PYP. Then we'll explore practical ways to support literacy and numeracy at home. And finally, we'll focus on independence, organization, and setting up a homework-friendly environment. As you listen, I encourage you to keep one real example in mind, maybe a recent homework moment that went well, or one that felt challenging. So our parent role for today is teacher of own child. Research shows that how parents see their role strongly shapes how they support learning at home. In the PYP, parents are often described as the teacher of their own child, but this doesn't mean delivering lessons or correcting every mistake. The balance looks something like this. Providing routines and resources can be really useful to help students feel grounded and supported. Encouraging thinking rather than giving them answers and helping them to develop that perseverance. And gradually stepping back as children take more ownership of their own learning. In the workbook, this idea is described as being a facilitator, not a replacement teacher. The learning still belongs to the child at the end of the day. So, what are some common parent worries around homework? Many parents share the same concerns. Am I helping too much or not enough? What exactly is my role supposed to be? Do I even know enough to help? And what does the school expect from me? If any of these sound familiar, that's completely normal. Research shows how worries are common across schools, cultures, and age groups. So reach out to those people around you and see if you can connect and come up with solutions together. Take a moment here. Which of these worries do you relate to the most? Are there any you would add to this list? Which ones do you perhaps already feel like you have a solution for? You can pause the video now if you'd like to jot down a few of your thoughts. So what is the purpose of homework in the PYP? Homework is not meant to be busy work or repetition. According to IB guidance, homework should connect learning to real life, support learner agency where children have voice and ownership, encourage inquiry, curiosity, and reflection, help students build habits like goal setting and self-regulation. This means homework is less about getting everything right and more about the process of thinking, reflecting, and growing. These are some pretty complicated sentences from the IB here. Take this moment to pause and try restating these ideas in your own words. How would you explain the purpose of homework to somebody else who's new to this kind of education? This kind of reflection helps align home expectations with what children experience at school, helping the process as a whole. So let's start with literacy. Supporting literacy doesn't need to be complicated or require worksheets and formal lessons. Reading together daily is the most powerful thing that you can do. This can be silent reading, reading aloud, or taking turns. After reading, ask open-ended questions like, why do you think the character made that choice? Would you make the same choice? What else could have happened? How does this connect to our real lived lives? For writing, encourage writing for real purposes. Shopping lists, notes, cards, or short journals all count. And finally, model reading yourself. Carry around a book wherever you go. When children see adults reading, literacy becomes a part of their everyday life. So, just like with literacy, math support starts with real life. Cooking, shopping, travel, all involve numbers, measurement, and estimation. Pointing these out helps children see math as useful and not abstract. Use fun games like cards, dice, or board games, which build fluency and reduce anxiety around math. Even short, playful moments matter. Now, as children get older, math becomes a bit more abstract, and when homework gets tricky, try avoiding giving the answers or looking them up. Instead, sit in the mud with your child, ask questions, and coach them through this process. What's your plan? Can you try a different way? What have you noticed? Celebrate different strategies and creative thinking. This builds resilience and deeper understanding. So, the goal of all of this is to encourage independence, and independence grows through structure. Helpful strategies that could guide students include having a regular homework time, breaking tasks into smaller steps, encouraging children to try before asking for help, praising effort and persistence, and allowing room for mistakes. One thing that I really encourage is building a system or a way of tracking a routine with your child so that they can track it themselves. In the slides, there is a example of something like this that you can maybe look up and do for yourself. There's many other options out there for you to explore. But get your child involved in building this routine that you both work on together to move towards their success. So here are some mini activities that you can try at home to help your child's organization and build their confidence, making sure that they are ready for the day's challenges and for the things that they need to accomplish in that day. Simple tools like a before school checklist, where students look and go through a list of things that they need to make sure that they have in their bag ready for the next day, or in the mornings when they are getting ready for school. This makes sure that they start their day with a success and have everything that they need to be prepared for the day's learning. When doing homework or a project, perhaps using short focused work periods with breaks. Sometimes this is called the Pomodoro technique, where students are given a specific time where they do some focused work, and then at the end of that time they are rewarded with a 5-minute break or something small that they can do in the meantime. And this hopefully builds that muscle of staying focused for longer periods. Another thing is perhaps a quick reflection question at the end of homework time, which just helps you stay up to date with the things that the student is working on. Maybe what were the things that they struggled with? Where can you help them tomorrow? What questions maybe should the student prepare for the teacher the next day, etc. In the workbook, these strategies are framed as ways to help build self-efficacy and the belief that I can do this. This is what it's all about, is helping the child through the process of developing the neural networks necessary to make them believe that they can do hard things. As always, here is your invitation to use the experimentation log. I challenge you to choose one small change to try and make it home this week. Notice what happens and reflect on what you might adjust. This process mirrors the inquiry cycle that your child experiences at school, and so will better equip you to help them when they are going through this process themselves. Well done, you made it. Thank you so much for joining me today. In the next lesson, we'll look at how to have a productive and positive parent-teacher conference, and how you can approach them with clarity and confidence so you can build a strong and supportive relationship with your child's teacher. Thank you once again for taking the time to reflect on today's lesson and how to help with homework. Remember, effective support isn't just about having all the answers. It's about creating the right environment, asking thoughtful questions, and allowing your child to grow into their independence. I wish you the best of luck. Cheers.